Mark Warburton by 0.15. Before the men get to their second event, we are going to show you the women on their first event. It is Lisa Panzironi against Sheryl Dundas, and the women will be vaulting. The women are allowed to execute 2 vaults. It is the higher of the 2 vaults that will count. Lisa Panzironi, just 16 years of age. She's coached right now by John Holman. She competes for Parkettes.
Yurchenko vault. Oh, she really had a bad reach back to the horse, and her arms were bent, and there wasn't a lot that she could do. She had trouble right from the start. Let's see if we can see what happened. She does the round off onto the board. Now watch, she goes back to the horse, and she doesn't really get a good extension. Notice her hands are really in deep. Her arms are bent.
Her face was almost touching the horse. They were so bent.
She did a really good job at maintaining the vault. But you'll be able to see right here once again what happened. She reaches back and she really dives, almost leans too far back into the horse. So by the time she hits it, her arms are bent, and there's not a lot she can do.
The score for her first vault will not be what she wants. In the first round, she did receive a 9.70, so she has vaulted quite well in this competition. The vault score she receives for that first one is 9.125. She'll try to better that mark right now.
She needs to get a little bit better rebound off the board, and hopefully a little more up and over rather than straight back into the horse. That's it.
Yes.
Good job.
Much better than the 9.125 she just received. I'm sure it is her second vaulting score that will count. But she seems to be limping.
Yeah, I think she stung her ankle on that landing. Let's see, right there, you can see she has a much better reach to the horse. Good push. Good position in the air.
I think you're right, that right ankle.
9.675 for Lisa Panzironi.
Much better this time. She did have some problems on that landing. We'll have to see. Of course, your ankles, I know from doing those vaults, they tend to sting a little bit on those landings, especially if you've done a lot of repetition of those things.
9.675. Obviously, it's a second vaulting score that she is going to use. Sheryl Dundas is our next competitor. She is coached by Jim Jarrett at Capital Gymnastics. She was born in Denver, Colorado, but currently lives in Austin, Texas.
This will be a good battle between Panzironi and Dundas because they're very evenly matched.
That was
nice. Nice Yurchenko vault, although she didn't add the twist as Panzironi did. She had a good, clean line in the air.
First vault. She's been in gymnastics 11 years now.
It's a Yurchenko in the laid out position.
Size, she's 5'3".
Beautiful arch. She piked it in a little bit more than she needed to, actually. She could probably continue with that arch and maintain the landing. Very pretty in the air.
16-year-old Sheryl Dundas received on her first vault a score of 9.525.
Now that's a really good score because the vault is worth a maximum of only 9.7.
We should explain that not all of the vaults are worth 10 points to begin with. There is a table that the judges follow. And the maximum she can get, if she did it perfectly, would be 9.7.
Absolutely. In fact, Lisa Panzironi's vault was worth a 10 if she did it perfectly. And this vault is only worth a maximum of a 9.7 if it's done perfectly. She came on a little high that time. Onto the horse, didn't get the kind of push that she was looking for. That's the reason why she was just a little short.
And the score for the second vault was 9.475, so it is the first vault score that she is going to use, the 9.525. So Lisa Panzironi, 9.675, Sheryl Dundas, 9.525. The men are getting ready to compete on their second event. It is the Pommel horse. Up first, Mark Warburton.
Mark, of course, is from the University of Nebraska. Traditionally very strong program. There's been a lot of great pommel horse workers that have come out of that program. Guys like Phil Cahoy and Jim Hartung. Oh, he clipped his ankles a little bit, but he did a good job at keeping the rhythm of the exercise moving as he went up to the handstand and down into his single leg work there.
That That, to me, is the most difficult transition. It just seems to break the flow when you have to go from the double leg work to the single leg work. Good job by Mark Warburton. I'm sure he'll exceed the 8.8 that he received in the first round.
He has really good flares, good form. Let's see what happens here. He loops around. He's going up, trying to go up to the handstand, and of course, and he was a little twisted, and so he had to fight it, but you can see there with a little arch, he does a good job at compensating and powering that back into the middle without breaking the rhythm too much. That is something that the judges are looking for. You must not break rhythm when you go up to these handstands. You can see he struggled a little there, broke rhythm, and that will be a minor deduction.
Remember, in the first round, he received an 8.8. He did much better today. He gets a 9.50 for his pommel horse performance. Now he trails his opponent, Conrad Voorsanger, by a 0.15 margin. Conrad Voorsanger wants to do at least a 9.5 on this event.
Conrad got a 9.65 in the qualifying round, so we know he's capable of getting a score of at least that much. There's the flares traveling up and across. Oh, he's in trouble.
If he scores a 9.35, he'll be tied with Mark Warburton in the all-around total so far. Anything less would put him behind him.
He got in trouble real early. You can see how far he's swinging his shoulders side to side. Now he's doing a very difficult combination. He's using the flares traveling across the horse without the pommels. But he's having trouble there as well. Has a really hard combination. He did a good job at keeping the rhythm moving there. This is a very difficult exercise, actually, but you can see his shoulders are swaying too far side to side, and that's causing him to be a little bit out of control.
Conrad Voorsanger is a 10-year veteran of the sport. At the 1988 Winter Nationals, he finished 7th in the all-around.
This move, he does a handstand down to a scissor full turn, and you can see he was really out of balance there, but he did a good job at keeping the scissors moving. Once again, his shoulders swing just a little too far side to side. If he could be just a little bit more over the top of the horse, he wouldn't invite that kind of inconsistency in his routine.
Anything less than a 9.35, and he'll be trailing Mark Warburton. We're waiting now for a score. There it is, 8.95. Mark Warburton has taken the lead after 2 events.